Thank you for joining us for this week's episode of Digital Dilemmas. We are going to go on a little tangent this week and talk about something that is not necessarily digital, but may provide people with some dilemmas. We're going to talk about Olympic sports and how we would change the Olympics were we in charge, which we are not. No one has asked. Neither the IOC nor any of our listeners have asked for our opinion on this, but we are always ready to share. We're givers here at Digital Dilemmas, and we're going to share our opinions.
Digital Dilemmas is a Lenk Media original podcast.
So for some context, I think we should just start by listing the original Olympic sports. Does that work for you, John? I've got a list.
For our audience out there,
research.
We're in Hawaii. We're in Hawaii on vacation, and yeah, you are prepared like this. I'm impressed. So go ahead, give us that list.
All right. So the ancient Olympic Games included running, long jump, shot put, javelin, boxing, what I believe it's called some weird name, but I believe is Greco-Roman wrestling and equestrian events. That's it.
Okay, and one thing before I'm going to go over the new list. But one thing I will say is I do think this is digitally related. I do think that we're having this conversation because the Olympics is now broadcast. Little plug for the state of Connecticut. Everything you see on the Olympics is coming from Stamford, Connecticut. Whether it's NBC, Peacock, or anything else, it's coming from Connecticut and it's all digital. And I think because of the cost to broadcast these games, they're adding more sports. So I don't think it's a stretch to have this conversation and have it not be related to digital. So I will share that. All right. So
I misspoke.
let me ask you this. Should we go through each sport and say yes or no? Because it's a long list rather than
It's a long list. Here, well, what I think we should do is, because I have a few hot takes, as you know. I think we should, I have some sweeping changes that I would make that we don't need to go through one by one through the list of current sports.
I'd like to share some of the sports that people would wait till you see some of the sports that are going to be broadcast.
No. I think we should share some of the sports, but I think off the top, I can narrow down that list, is what I'm saying.
Okay, go for it.
John has heard my first hot take, which is team sports out. Every team sport out.
And your contention, your reasoning
My reasoning is this is supposed to be like the best individual at a certain activity. I also think with the flattening of the world, as Thomas Friedman would say, where are people really from? Are they from where they play for? Are they from where they were born? Are they from people hold dual citizenships? They're deciding where to put, like what, who plays for what team? And I also just think it's stupid and blurs the line between I understand that nobody really is an amateur anymore, but like the Olympics was supposed to be amateur, sportsmen. I can't think of anybody less amateur than the U.S. basketball Olympic team.
I know, but we gave up on amateurism a few years ago.
All right. Well, I'm just saying.
Okay. All right. So, do you want me to go through the list of this to let everybody know, including you, what the list of sports is for this Olympics?
Sure.
All right. Let me just share a few of them.
No, see, you're just going to share the ones you find ridiculous. I know you. You're gonna lead with breakdancing, aren't you?
All right, let's go. Let's just go through and say yes or no. Let's start with that.
Great.
Archery,
Yes. I feel very strongly about archery.
artistic gymnastics, which is known.
Out.
That's that's gymnastics that you know. The famous Mary Lou Retton. That's artistic gymnastics.
Then I think we need to change the name. Well, what do you mean, famous Mary Lou Retton?
U.S. Olympic team. Everybody's into gymnastics now. They sell out arenas. That's officially
Yeah.
called artistic
Well,
gymnastics.
then they need to change the name because anything with artistic in either the
I
title or the judging, out. This is not about looking good while you do it. This is about getting it done and being the best. So I think you can get rid of the artistic component of gymnastics and figure skating and turn it into an actual sport and keep it in.
okay. So archery is in or out.
Oh, archery's in.
Then gymnastics, just change the name and take the artistic part out of it.
That's correct. Take
Next
all
up,
the
this my favorites, one of my all-time favorites, not artistic swimming.
out. I don't even know what is it.
This is where it, you know,
Is it like synchronized swimming?
yeah, and it can be two people, it can be teams, it's all different variations.
Okay.
It's horrible.
Well, it's actually very, very difficult. If you
I
tried to
know
do,
I agree. A lot of the sports I want to eliminate, I agree, they're difficult.
but I think there's too much of an artistic component. The whole point is how you look, and it's very Esther Williams, and it needs to go. Gone.
All right. The next up is track and field in everything. Track and field.
All right. In everything,
Yeah, what part of track and field are you eliminating? That's
I,
traditional.
the shot put.
That goes back thousands of years. You have to keep it.
Look, it's not a hard and fast one for me. It's not like the team sports or the artistic component, but I just think it's worth some discussion. What is the shot put? It's some enormous person chucking a heavy lead ball.
Yes.
All right.
All right, next up. This is definitely going badminton. Can you believe we have badminton in the Olympics? You agree with that?
You know, I don't hate badminton as much
Oh,
as I hate some of the other
seriously.
ones.
Ah,
It's not a team sport, right? They're not playing doubles.
well, they might.
All right, so if we get rid of the doubles, no doubles in
You're
badminton.
keeping like, literally, you're going to go to the Olympics when they're in LA, and you're going to go watch badminton.
I'd rather watch badminton than the bobsled. I'm just saying. In person.
Basketball.
Out. Team sport. Out.
Be on three basketball.
Out.
Beach volleyball.
Out.
I agree with you. Boxing.
Oh, I think boxing stays in.
Agreed. My new favorite that I break dancing.
All right.
There's no way you're keeping break dancing.
I think an argument can be made for breakdancing.
Gotta be kidding me. Can you see the founders of the Olympics back in year zero that we're going to be watching break dancing for like you're going to get a gold medal like
Embrace the
anyone
future,
cares.
old man. It's coming.
Okay.
I like breakdancing,
All right.
and I think it's an individual
Well,
sport. And
2 weeks from now, 2 weeks from now, we're back home and breakdancing is on. I'm gonna let you know. I'll let me in. I'll see if you watch it.
oh, I'll watch it.
Okay, next up, canoeing, slalom.
What?
Slalom, the canoeing, the whitewater,
No, no,
sprinting, canoe sprinting.
no. I mean, I'm not going to die on this hill, but like, no.
All right, next up, cycling, BMX freestyle, BMX biking.
Again, I'm not going to die on this hill, but I would cut it.
Yeah, that's got to go. Anything, these, we have mountain biking.
You're like anything that young people like to do and is fun has got to go.
I'm going to tell you why. These are X Games sports, founded by the gentleman I went to high school with. These are X Games sports that were brought digitally to the Olympics because young people like it. I'm not
So,
disagreeing that it's not hard to do, it's not interesting to watch, but it's not the Olympics. It's X Games.
what's the difference between Olympics and the X Games?
X Games are more like whatever the fad of the moment is, like breakdancing or rollerblading or mountain biking.
All right,
All right, cycling around the track, the hippodrome thing,
out.
diving.
And I love diving.
Do you like doubles diving?
No, I think you got to get rid of the doubles. I mean, I like it, but I think you got to get rid of it.
Okay.
Too much bordering on the team sport or doubles or doubles badminton. If I cut doubles badminton, I got to stick to my guns and cut doubles diving.
Equestrian.
In
And oh, this is right up your alley. So for those who don't know, Ann Burr was on the Junior Olympic team for
fencing.
fencing. I know, it's hard to believe, but she was a fencer back in the day. So fencing stays in or out.
Fencing, I think, stays in. I think it's the perfect example of a great Olympic sport. And I'm hoping that by cutting all of these other dumb sports, that sports like fencing and archery will get more airtime.
Okay, I'm with you on that. Soccer.
Out, team sport.
Okay with that. Another good one,
No.
golf. Golf.
See, is golf
You can't can you golfing is an Olympic sport, like seriously?
so you want it out?
Yes.
All right, out. I thought you'd be the one wanting it in.
I love golf. I love mountain biking. There's a lot of things I love that should not be in the Olympics. All right, handball.
That was added in my lifetime. So I remember an Olympics without handball. I know the youngsters, all of the younger demographic of our listeners don't, but I say handball's out. If you're taking out badminton, you got to get rid of handball. Come on.
Field hockey,
Team sport out.
judo,
I mean, don't we have enough hand-to-hand combat ones? But fine, leave judo in.
marathon swimming.
Sure. I mean, can you think of something less boring? I mean, less interesting to watch?
I know, but this isn't. We're not doing this based on ratings. We're doing this based upon
Well,
what do we think.
I'm taking ratings into consideration because my sports that I like are fighting for airtime with marathon swimming.
Okay. Uh, modern pentathlon.
Oh, the best.
Okay.
Like the absolute, but do you know what do you know what's in the modern pentathlon?
Um, target shooting, cross country running. What else?
Fencing,
Oh, hey,
equestrian,
I'm keeping that.
and swimming.
I'm keeping that. That's legit.
It's awesome.
All right. The next one is my all-time favorite that I wish they'd gotten rid of since day one, rhythmic gymnastics.
Yeah,
People
that's gotta
running
go.
around with ribbons.
No, that's gotta go.
I mean,
I
anybody watches that except the parents and family. All right,
no,
God,
that's gotta go.
help us. Rowing.
Team, out.
Let's say the skulls. You're getting rid of rowing?
John,
All right. I'm keeping
I
that
have
one.
to be consistent.
Okay, I'm keeping that one. Rugby sevens.
Team sport, out.
I'm doing sailing.
Oh, come on.
That's a relatively new one. The
We
last
have the America's Cup. Isn't that enough for these people?
shooting.
Yes, absolutely. Epitomizes everything about the Olympics.
All right, another new one that is an X game sport that should not be in the Olympics.
In your opinion.
Skateboarding.
Skateboarding. Yeah,
Skateboarding.
I mean,
Out. Out.
all right.
Goodbye. Not a. This is not the Olympics.
All right.
All
Look,
right.
I'm not fighting.
Wall climbing.
Now that's interesting. I would keep it in. Having seen a lot of wall climbing, rock wall climbing, whatever it is, during the pandemic, I have to say I was impressed by the sport. I think it is a sport. I think it's interesting to watch. I think it requires a
So
lot of
you're
the
keeping it.
participants. I'm keeping it in.
Okay. Next up, something I love, but should it be in the Olympics? Surfing.
Absolutely not. And I'll tell you why. You cannot regulate the waves.
Well, surfing is a sport, and that's how they play it. It should be in or out.
No, it should be out.
Okay. It should be out too. It's not Olympic. All right, next one's easy. Keeper, swimming, traditional.
Yeah.
Next up, ping pong.
I don't mind ping pong. I'm impressed by that. I
So
like
you're
watching
you're
ping pong.
I love ping pong too, but you're okay with badminton and ping pong, people being awarded medals. Okay.
All right, all right, all right. Ping pong goes, badminton stays.
Taekwondo, another
I mean,
hand-to-hand combat.
how many martial arts are we gonna have here? Is karate in there too?
No, it's
So it's
not.
just taekwondo and judo?
Yes, I
I'd say
know.
pick one.
All right, next one I say out. Tennis.
Oh no, I think tennis can stay. Singles, not doubles.
It's not an Olympic sport, please. Tennis? Oh,
Why
okay.
not?
Look, I hope some people can relate to what I'm saying. When I turned on the first Olympics, my first Olympics that I remember was 68 Mexico City. With very few exceptions, those are the sports. All right.
Okay, you. So basically, this is the way we've always done it. Is your reasoning for which sports should stay, or this is the way it was as I remember it?
When it is the Olympics, yes. It's tradition for
I
thousands of
think
years.
that is insane.
All right. We disagree.
Go.
All right.
I just
This one. This one. Next up. You ready? This is a new one. Trampoline.
okay. Well, John, and you guys may not know this, but John is a former I don't know, what do you call it? Trampolinist?
I don't know. Ask my good friend Jerry Biancucci and Mike Fortin and the guys back in the late 60s when trampolining was big in elementary schools. We had a trampoline team as part of gym class. It was fun. Loved it. The Olympics? I don't think so. All
I, I'm with you. Out.
right. Triathlon.
Love it.
Yeah, I'm okay with that too. Volleyball. Team
Out,
volleyball.
team. Out.
Water polo. Water polo, traditional. Come on, what do you think?
Out.
Well,
I got
weightlifting.
it. What?
So you're getting rid of water polo because it's consistently against team sports.
That's correct.
Okay.
And I don't think I can, if I say that, I don't think I can then cherry pick.
Okay.
sports that I like and say they should be in it.
Weightlift, weightlifting.
I no, I heard you. I mean, it's kind of up there with shot put, but sure. I'm not going to die on that hill either.
Okay. Last one officially, wrestling.
Well, if you're going traditional, you got to leave it in.
Leaving it in.
I think you got to leave it in. Now, the big controversies were what?
For us,
Yeah,
now let me review. Tennis was controversial.
tennis is controversial.
How many hand-to-hand combat sports do we need? Ping pong.
No, no, no. I said you could get rid of ping pong. Don't they call it table tennis?
Yeah, they do. I was just saying it so that we all understand it. It's called table tennis, but you're right. Um, what else was controversial?
See, I think we did some good work here. I think if this podcast episode can be raised to the attention of the IOC as sort of an outline of the direction in which we'd like to go, and then we can provide backup arguments for all of the points that we've made. I think that we would have a much more enjoyable viewing experience as spectators. Oh, you didn't do any of the winter sports.
I don't have the list. It's not coming up this summer. We'll do that during the winter.
Oh, okay.
All right. I have one more topic that
Okay.
is so this was just released in the last few weeks while we were home. Did you know that in 4 years when the Olympics are in LA, that they have agreed not not just to spread the sports out across Southern California, which, I get. We've done that for decades. But for example, girls softball is going to be held in Oklahoma.
Yeah, no, I think that's stupid. I
And other sports may follow, where, oh, they have a good facility in Kansas, so let's go there for the hippodrome, so we don't have to build
then
one.
then you should just award the Olympics to the country.
Right. Like the World Cup.
Like the World Cup. It's America has it this year, and it could be anywhere in America.
I agree. When I saw that, I'm like, hold it, hold it. I get it. The Olympics are a fortune to put on. Every city that tries to do it all loses their shirts.
I
Half
guess,
the
but
place,
like having known people who went to the Olympics, part of the whole experience is like being in the Olympic Village with all of the other competitors and all of the other competitors
oh, I
from your
agree. So,
country. And so
for
like the
example,
softball people, first of all, softball's out anyway, so we already solved that Oklahoma City problem. However, I think it's nice to have everybody in the same place. I think it's part of the whole point of the Olympics is bringing together every people from different countries and sports and having them meet each other.
100%
What I
agree.
would Oh, sorry, I have one. Are we done with that topic? Because I have another
Yep,
topic.
yep. Go ahead.
Apparently, some of the swimming events this summer, are going to be held in the Seine.
Yes, that would probably be the triathlon or marathon swimming.
Having grown up in a city surrounded by rivers,
And you spent time in Paris.
and having spent time in Paris, I I mean, I think they have spent, and I did, this is the part of the research that I slacked off on, but I believe they have spent in excess of $1 billion to clean the Seine so that it is safe for people to swim in.
I,
I mean, can you imagine New York hosting the Olympics and it's in the Hudson?
I hear you. I get it. I get it.
So I'm fascinated to see how that plays out. fascinated.
Anything else on the Olympics that we want to criticize?
I don't think so, but I am really going to ask our listener or listeners, if I'm being optimistic, um, to weigh in on this one because I want to know what people think. I feel like people have opinions on this topic, and I would love for our next episode to be able to talk about what the response was and what people think and whether they agree or disagree, because people feel very strongly about this topic, and I would love to bring in viewers' opinions.
Well, a week from now, we'll be doing an episode from Connecticut, and then the Olympics, I believe, start the week after. So
Perfect
I
time.
tend to think we'll be talking about this a couple more times over the next month.
Great. Can't wait.
Um, yeah.
Well, thank you so much for listening. And as I said, feel free to write in with your opinions, whether you agree with us or you don't. We want to hear what you think. And aloha from Hawaii.
All right, Digital Dilemma fans, that wraps up another episode. Thanks for tuning in and navigating our tech world with us.
Please rate us and leave a review. And if you enjoyed it, tune in next time. We'd also love it if you would send us any questions or suggest guests via email. Thanks so much for listening, and we will see you next week.
Digital Dilemmas is a Lenk Media original podcast.